Everyone, today we are going to be making pumpkin pie, so if you're interested in that, stay tuned. All right, welcome back to my kitchen. Today we are making pumpkin pie. Now, this is one of my absolute favorite pies, but only if it's homemade. The store-bought ones just don't taste the same. So if you've never had an actual homemade pumpkin pie, I'm going to show you just how easy it is. Now, first things first, we are starting with homemade pumpkin puree. In my last video, I showed you how to make this. So if you missed that, I'm going to put a link to it up here in the info box, as well as down in the description box below. So be sure to check that out. And first things first, if you're not already a subscriber, be sure to click that little red subscribe button down below and hit the notification icon so you don't miss any of my future videos. And if you like this video and want to see more like them, give this video a thumbs up. So let's get started. I have got my blender here, and we're just going to start with the filling of the pie. So I'm going to put all of the measurements for all of this in the description box down below for you too. So that way I don't have to like memorize all of this, because I have it written down and I follow the written recipe exactly. So I've got 3 cups of pumpkin puree, and I'm going to put that in my blender. And if you have only ever used like canned pumpkin, or you've only had the pumpkin pies from the store, I literally cannot tell you what a difference actual from a pumpkin puree makes in this pie. It is amazing. So start with that. Then we are going to put in some plant-based milk. This is a pea protein milk, which I use for pretty much everything. And some brown sugar. Then I'll put the cornstarch in next. A bunch of cornstarch. Now that's what's going to help it thicken up. And pie spice. This is actually from Penzeys, and it is so good. Maple syrup on top of that brown sugar. It's actually not going to be too sweet, so don't worry about all this sweetener going in. And then just a little bit of salt. Now, all we're going to do is put the lid on. Let me get there's some sugar stuck up here. Okay, so we're going to put the lid on, and we're going to puree it until it's smooth. And that's it for the filling. That is how easy it is. Okay, I'm going to scrape down the sides a bit. Isn't that easy? The first time I made pumpkin pie, I was like, what? That's it? All right, get that all scraped down, get all the goodness. All right, and then puree it for just a little bit longer. Oh, if I can get my lid back on there. There we go. Ah, technical difficulties. Okay, that's it for the filling. I'm going to go ahead and take the lid off. Oh, it smells so good already. I will probably be licking this clean. All right, and then I'm going to go ahead and take the blades out. And I'm just going to set that aside. Okay, the next thing that we're going to make is the crust. So I left my butter in the fridge because you want to work with extremely cold butter and extremely cold water. So I'm actually going to add a little bit more ice to this and grab my butter, and I will be right back. All right, so I have all the ingredients for my crust here. I've got my Cuisinart out, and it has a dough blade in it. Now, if you don't have a Cuisinart, you can also use what's called a pastry blender, and it kind of looks like this. Let me see if I can show you. So you can use a pastry blender and a bowl. That works too, and it doesn't actually take that long either. So I just like my Cuisinart because it's a lot faster. So we're gonna start with a cup of flour. And you're not going to need to like level this off or anything. You're just going to use a nice big scoop of flour, totally unlevel. And throw that in. set that aside. I'm gonna put in the little bit of salt. I'm gonna go ahead and put in the butter. Oh, that's why I have the knife here. It is nice and cold. All right, so I'm gonna start with 6 tablespoons of ice cold water. I'm just gonna go ahead and put that in. And then we're gonna give it a couple of quick pulses. I want the butter to turn into like a little crumb and all of it to come together. Why is it this? There we go. Okay, so just gonna pulse it like that until the butter is into a nice crumb and the dough starts to come together. If I need more water, just gonna add more water. It's looking pretty good. All right, I think it needs just 1 more tablespoon or so of ice cold water. I'm gonna try about a half. There we go. See how it came together in a one big lump? I don't know if you can see that. Let me set this aside. I'm actually gonna put some flour out on my big breadboard here. If you don't have a breadboard, this actually like came with my house and I just use it specifically for making doughs. But if you don't have one like this, if your countertop is smooth, like mine is tiles, but if yours is smooth, you can use your countertop. You can use a big cutting board. You can kind of just use whatever you've got. You don't have to be fancy. All right. So there's some on the sides. I'm going to scrape that up. Let's see. I need like 4 hands. Okay, just get all the little bits off of there. Go ahead and scoop this out. See how it like came together in a big ball? So that's what you want. And then scoop it out onto your work surface. And I'm just going to kind of get my hands floured. And I think that maybe that last little bit was maybe a little too much. So, and you don't want to work this too much. You want it to stay nice and cold so that the butter stays all together. Just want a smooth top. All right. Then I've got a rolling pin here. I'm just going to throw a little bit of flour on it. Actually, let me bring my flour over here so I get flour all over my kitchen. I'm just going to go like that, get flour on it. And we're going to roll this out until it's about an inch or so wider than my pie pan, because I want it to be able to go down into the pie pan. See how easy this is? This is coming together so fast, especially because, I mean, like with apple pie and stuff, you have to like peel the apples and cut them. But with pumpkin pie, you just literally put it in a blender and that is it. And then the crust, you can actually cheat on the crust. If you don't want to make your own crust from scratch, you can actually just go to the store and buy the frozen ones that then you roll out and put in your own pie plate. Those are just as good, and a lot of them are vegan. Okay, so it's coming apart here, but that's okay. I can totally fix that. And needs a little bit more. Oops. Okay, see if that worked. Yep, that looks good. So now I'm just going to put a little bit more flour on here, because the easiest way to get this pie crust to my pan is to actually roll it up onto my rolling pin. So I'll show you how that's done. Just very gently. Oops, some of it came apart there. Actually, let me see if I can get this up first. Oh yeah, it's just that one little spot. All right, there we go. Okay, so just gonna roll, actually let me roll it out just a little bit more because it kind of got misshapen. All right, there we go. So we're gonna just roll it up onto the pin. And that was a good example of why you need to use lots and lots of flour. Oops, there's a little bit more. Just flour that a bit. Okay, so put my pie plate here. And then just roll it into your plate. There we go. Then I'm just gonna make sure that it goes all the way down into the bottom. Okay, then I'm gonna grab this knife, and you see how there's a bunch of overhang? I'm just gonna cut that off right at the edge of the pie plate. Oops. Okay, and then you'll notice I've got some right here where it kind of came apart. I'm just gonna tap that together. It is so easy and so forgiving. And that is it. I'm actually not even going to decorate the edges. I'm just gonna leave it as is. Now you can take like a fork if you want to and put, you know, like crimp the edges, whatever you want to do. Flour here. There we go. All right, then all I'm gonna do is pour the pie filling in. So this goes right in to the center. This looks so good and it smells so good. I'm so excited. The one thing that I like about making holiday recipe videos is that we actually get to eat all this stuff like before the holiday. So we get our big meal on the holiday, but we also get all these little like mini holiday meals beforehand because I've made a video. Oh, that is perfect. Okay, I've got my oven preheated to 350 degrees, and I'm just gonna put this in there for 1 hour. There we go. Dust the flour off of there. Okay, that is it. So that's going in the oven for 1 hour, and then I will bring you back and show you what it looks like after it's been in the oven. All right, so my pumpkin pie just came out of the oven. It baked for exactly 1 hour, and that is what it looks like. It smells amazing in my house right now. I am gonna go ahead and let this cool on my counter for an hour, and then I'm gonna put it in my fridge overnight to let it finish setting, and then this will be ready to eat tomorrow. All right, so for some reason my audio cut out, but like I said, I'm gonna let that pie cool in my refrigerator. It's in there right now, and it'll be ready tomorrow. You can also chill it in the fridge for 4 hours. That is the minimum amount of time that you want it to chill in the refrigerator. So you can make this pie in the morning, let it chill during the day, and then serve it that same night. So 4 hours is the minimum that you want it to chill in the refrigerator. All right, well, if you like this video, give it a thumbs up, and I will see you all next time.